Hi guys, welcome back to another Cultureville video. My name is Adiola Adelakun.
And my name is Ronke Jane.
Today we're going to be giving you some tips to equip you as a black person to ensure that the movement taking place across the world right now creates permanent positive change.
Yep, these are 5 ways you as a black person can contribute to the Black Lives Matter movement.
The first one, tell your story. So many of us black people have experienced racism in some form, whether it was in high school, in university, randomly browsing through a shop, at the workplace. Talk to people and tell them how you experienced it. I genuinely believe one of the reasons why racism is still so prevalent in society is because so many people think it's a thing of the past and they don't understand the number of ways it could present. It's not necessarily you calling me the N-word, it could present in a lot of other ways. And I think those covert sources of racism that are so casual and we experience on a daily basis are a lot more dangerous than we realize. So we need to tell people, it's not okay for you to treat me differently. It's not okay when you did X. It's not okay when you did Y. And so hopefully the more examples we give them, the less likely those things are to reoccur.
Yeah, and by telling your story, you also allow your allies to know when they see racism in its multiple forms and being able to speak up for you so you don't have to speak up for yourself all the time. So the second way that you can support the Black Lives Matter movement is by supporting black businesses. By supporting a black business, you're opening up opportunities within that business so that they can hire more people and so they can have a bigger impact. As black businesses get bigger, they have the capacity to do more within those black communities. So by investing in a black business, you're also investing in the people around them and the communities they support.
Yes, and by black business, we mean black creators, black bloggers, black movie makers, go out there and support black businesses because we absolutely need it. God knows we face enough racism when we go out in this world from business people who feel they can't get contracts because of the color of their skin to just simply not succeeding as well because the same markets that are open to white businesses are not necessarily open to black businesses. So look out, do your research and find a business that's owned by a black person and then support it by sharing their message, by shopping with them, by talking about them on social media and to friends and family. And I promise you that that will be invaluable.
Yeah. And the third way that you can support black people and the Black Lives Matter movement is by leaving the door open in your organizations. So let's say you're a lawyer, say you are an accountant. If you know that there's a position open in your company, you invite a black person to apply, you mentor them, you advocate for them, and you allow them to rise up in organizations. By us rising up, we'll have greater power over policies within those organizations and we'll have greater impact within society. So when you're looking at the boards of companies, we want to see black faces because we are capable, we are more than able to excel in these roles. And so we can change corporate culture by having more people in power positions, and that's exactly what we want to do.
Absolutely. The next way in which you can make sure that this creates permanent, lasting change is by exercising your rights. So being active politically. When it's time to vote, I beg you, go out there and vote. Use your voice. So many people fought for that right. And people in these great political positions are the people who determine what legislation is, what the laws are, whether the police has funding, how the police exercises their powers. Please use your power to vote for your MPs, for your representatives. In addition to that right to vote, exercise your right to peacefully protest. In the last 2 weeks, we've seen protests all across the world and we've seen that they can create change. So exercise that right to protest. Yeah.
And the final way that you can help the Black Lives Matter movement is by educating. So many people will say, oh, racism is just a US problem. We've seen it in the UK. We see it all over the world. In every single nation, we've seen racism. And so how you can help is by educating people so that when they're raising their children with an awareness of racism. They're raising anti-racist kids. And the way we do that is by letting people know the different forms that racism takes and how not to be racist. And by asking people to look at their bias. Education comes in a range of forms. It's saying to your manager, oh, that thing you said, that wasn't acceptable. We know it's hard. We know it's difficult to be the black educator, to be the voice for all blacks. But that's our right as black people. If you want to see a change, you have to make it happen. And we make it happen by educating people.
Yeah. And I would say educate not just on like an individual basis, but by sharing. Right now, the reason the movement has gained such prominence is because people around the world have united and they have come together, and we are all sharing stories that we're hearing. We're sharing stories of George Floyd and what happened there. We're sharing stories of police brutality. We're sharing stories of people who have been unlawfully killed, and as a result, we are having an impact. So you keep on sharing. Don't stop. This is not a trend. This is something that we go out there every single day and we face it. So talk about it, educate people. And if you do not have the strength, because God knows it's draining, direct them to some books they can read. There are so many books there on how to be anti-racist, or why I stop talking to white people about race. Various books that can just help you to help them to understand why this is not okay and why we need permanent lasting change.
So yeah, we hope these 5 tips help you help the Black Lives Matter movement. We want it to be permanent. We want it to not be fighting for this fight in the next generation. And we do that by making sure this movement is effective. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them down below or send us an email. We are info@cultureville.co.uk. Thanks guys.
Thank you. Bye.